In today's video, we want to quickly look into the history or the story of one of the greatest icons that have ever existed in Nigeria, and his name is Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe's story began before Nigeria even became a country, when Nigeria was divided into protectorate under the rulership of the British colony. If you follow me to the end of this video, you will not only be shocked, rather you will also be educated and well informed in some of the things you missed in the story of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Therefore, don't touch the dial. I'll be right back. First of all, you need to know that Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was born on November 16, 1904 in a northern town called Zunguru, where his father was working as a clerk under colonial administration. As a young boy who was born in the northern region of Nigeria, whose parents is from Onitsha, which is the Igbo region of Nigeria, this shaped his future and gave him a vision that led him into politics. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe ventured into education very early in life. His father, despite working for the British colony or under colonial administration, valued education so much and saw it as a tool for liberation. He went to school in different regions in Nigeria, from Onitsha to Calabar, even in Lagos, before he traveled to America to further his education. In 1925, he studied in Lincoln University and later in University of Pennsylvania, where he earned degrees in political science and anthropology. His education in America was a turning point for him. Life in America exposed Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe to both the promise and the hypocrisy of Western civilization. He got to find out that the American dream was preached but was not practiced. There was heavy racial discrimination. He even struggled to get work and also experienced the harsh reality of being a black man in a white man's land, in a land that claimed to preach freedom for all. It was during all of these experiences in America that he encountered the idea of Pan-Africanism, which is the idea of calling all Africans to be united with each other worldwide in order to break the chains of colonialism in Africa. This idea deeply influenced Azikiwe in such a way that he returned to West Africa not just as an educated man, but as a nationalist ready to break the chains of colonialism in Africa as a whole. When he came back to Nigeria, his first battleground was to establish a newspaper called West African Pilot in 1937, a newspaper that became one of the powerful voices that fought against the colonial rules. The newspaper motto was "Show the light and the people shall find their way." This motto became one of the heart cry of everyone who desired independence. Through his newspaper, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe challenged the colonial policies, exposed corruption, and advocated for self-governance. The British colony saw him as a threat, but for many Nigerians, he was the voice of the people. However, journalism was part of Nnamdi Azikiwe's mission. He believed that political action is needed in order to dismantle the colonial rule. So this moved him and drove him to join a party called the Youth Movement Party, which he became a key factor in the National Council of Nigeria and Cameroon, a party that became one of the strongest voice in attacking and dismantling colonial rules. Because of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe's involvement, this party drew a lot of support from Nigeria and even outside the country. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe's message was very simple. Nigeria's ethnic and regional division can only be overcome by struggle for independence. Yet, of course, you know that it is easier to preach this unity than to practice it, because already there was a great division in the country caused by the colonial policies and also historical rivalries. The Hausa Fulani based in the north were gradual people who believed in gradual political change, while the west, led by Obafemi Awolowo and the Action Party, believed in regional autonomy, while the east, which is Azikiwe's own based region, were demanding for independence. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe saw himself in a very tight rope, trying to bring together different people from different ethnic groups who have different interests. His call and message for unity were often seen as idealistic in a country that has ethnic loyalty stronger than national identity. In 1954, Nigeria adopted a federal system which gave each region more power to govern themselves. Everybody saw it as a necessary tool in order to move the country forward, but Nnamdi Azikiwe saw it as a tool that will deepen the ethnicity division the more. Despite the tension, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe remained a towering voice that was pushing for independence. So on October 1st, 1960, when Nigeria gained its independence, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe became the first ceremonial president, with Abubakar Tafawa Balewa being his prime minister. Because of the political system as of that time, Nnamdi Azikiwe did not have the power to make decisions. He was just a symbolic leader. In the early years of Nigeria independence, there was political tension and economic inequalities. Even regional crises intensified, and there was massive corruption in the country as of that time. The crisis reached its beam when there was a military coup that overthrew a civilian government. Because the young military men who were involved in that military coup was mostly Igbos. The Northerners thought that it was Igbos trying to take charge of power. They began to kill Igbos in their land. And because of that, the dream of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe uniting the nation was going out of the thin air. Now, as a result of the mock killings of Igbos in the northern region of Nigeria, the Igbos who were residing in that place started coming back to the eastern part of Nigeria. In the midst of all this chaos, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe caught himself in between staying loyal to his Igbo people or to his vision, which is uniting the nation. So in 1967, when Ojukwu declared the Republic of Biafra, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe initially supported the movement, but when he saw that things were going out of hand, he started advocating for unity again. You know, as usual, some people saw his action as a betrayal, while others saw it as a necessity in order to bring unity to the country. After the war, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe could not regain his political influence, but he rather became an elder statesman who was giving advice to other political individuals. Even after all the advice offered by Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Nigeria he dreamt of and the Nigeria he fought for was gradually going into more corruption, military rule, and ethnic strife. He died on 11th of May 1996, leaving behind a legacy that is both celebrated and debated. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section about the history of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Is there anything that I left behind? Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel in order to be the first to get notified anytime we drop history videos. Like this video so that YouTube can show it to more people. And thank you for always coming back to watch. My name is Uche and this is Gist TV.